Hi everyone. So to start off, I'm not a YouTuber, so I know the quality of this video is probably meh. I'm not like those people who have like a whole Taylor Swift wall in their house and they've made a ton of videos, but hopefully it's okay. So I'm just a fan. I've been really excited for the ERAS tour to start, and my favorite, absolute favorite thing to look at has been other people's set lists, like their ideas about what it's going to be or what they want it to be. It's going to be really interesting to see not only what songs she sings, but also how she structured it. Is she going to do it chronologically by era or something else? But all the other lists I saw, I wasn't fully satisfied with them, which is understandable because I didn't make them. No two people are going to have the same list, so I just decided to try as kind of a creative exercise. This is not like my dream set list of all my favorite songs, but there's a few personal favorites and then greatest hits that we know she's always going to play, and some fan favorites like the deep cuts that we know people, the diehards, really want to hear. So, and as I went along, I thought about which songs maybe could be shortened if they're really long, or which ones could stay as they are, which ones might make a good mashup. And I counted the approximate like run time of just all the music together. It's about an hour and 35 minutes. So if we're looking at about a 2-hour show from her, that's plenty of time for her to talk to the crowd, change her outfit, stuff like that. And I will say that I wanted to do this for fun, but it was actually really hard. It took me hours and I kept changing it. She has such a big catalog. Every song is amazing. Every song is someone's favorite. So there's no way to make a list that'll please everybody. I know that, it's okay if you don't like this list. I have songs here that wouldn't be my first choice, but I know that she's probably going to play them anyway, and I have songs that are my absolute favorites that I know probably aren't going to make it onto the tour, or that I know won't, and I just let those go, trying to be realistic. So it's totally okay whatever you think about this. I just wanted to put it out there into the world because I worked hard on it, and we will find out for sure in a few days. So my set, there's 5 acts, which I feel like in like the 1989 Reputation tour is about what we got. Maybe this is end up being a little longer, but it's still, again, it's under 2 hours. So Act 1 is called Meet Me at Midnight. I feel like a lot of people are calling their Act 1 that on their fake set lists. It starts with Lavender Haze. I think it's a pretty safe bet that she's going to start with that. She has started with the track 1 on every tour going back years and years now. Then Cruel Summer. At first I was thinking of having this like close to the end as like part of the finale set, and then I was thinking I would have Me as the second song, but then somebody pointed out to me that she might not play Me live because kind of left a bad taste in her mouth with like all the backlash and stuff and people kind of bullying her about it. So instead I put Cruel Summer, and like Cruel Summer is a track too, like it's there to get the people hype. So I think that would be awesome. And then number 3 is Antihero. You could have it at number 2 also, but I think it somewhere in there because it's like the big hit from this era. And then Act 2, which I'm calling Songs in the Parking Lot. And it starts with a mashup of Sparks Fly and Fearless. These are 2 of my all-time like top 10 favorite Taylor Swift songs. So I know that it's more likely maybe we might not hear Fearless, the song. We may instead hear like You Belong With Me or something, or I think there's a better chance we'll hear Sparks Fly, but we might also hear something like Mine. But if I had my way, for me making this list, the songs that fit together that I love, I have Sparks Fly / Fearless to start off this little throwback set of her early country songs. Then I have Tim McGraw, and I know that on the last few tours she hasn't featured this song, but I think with the ERAS tour, because it's her first single, it would be time to bring it back. I think it could be a really beautiful moment, especially for older fans, putting up the waving either the little light up bracelets or waving your phones around, and it could be really beautiful. Everybody's swaying back and forth and singing along. Then I have Love Story, And again, in the past, we've heard this mashed up with You Belong With Me. But I didn't want to do too many mashups, so maybe in the real thing it'll be mashed up. But for me, I just have Love Story. I feel like it was a bigger hit in her career than You Belong With Me, and more important. And to close out this set, I have You're on Your Own, Kid, which is kind of a kind of an emotional ending to sort of symbolize, the small town girl. She made it big, but we know she's gonna lose her innocence soon, and the kind of fairy tale castle starts to crumble. Next, Act 3, I call it What I Learned from All Those Tears. This set is pretty long, so, it may turn out that these be mashups. A lot of these songs themselves are long. A lot of them are around 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So if the show's getting long, if she wants to keep it to a certain time, she could cut some of these, like cutting a verse or stopping at the bridge or whatever, to make them a little more manageable. So this set starts with Ready for It, but I kind of couldn't make up my mind, or I would be equally happy with if you want to start it with Don't Blame Me, or I Did Something Bad. I would be satisfied with any of the above. Next is Blank Space, one of her biggest hits. I think this is another sure thing for the real set list. It'll be really badass. Next, we have I Knew You Were Trouble. I was trying to decide between this or We Are Ever Never Getting Back Together, but this one I feel like fits the theme of the set a little more because it's a little bit darker. The idea that if we're telling the story of like Taylor's fall from grace, so to speak. But I Know We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together was a bigger hit on the charts, and that rock version would be really awesome. So either one, but I have I Knew You Were Trouble for this one. Next is something that maybe is wishful thinking. I have Getaway Car. I don't know how likely it is that she'll really play it because it had a big feature on the Reputation tour, but I think it would be a really good transition for the set, kind of going from she escapes from the chaos of 2016 and starts her relationship with Joe. And then we go into Delicate. The next song, I wasn't really sure. I have it here in slot number 13, but it could be a little bit earlier, I suppose. Is maybe a song with her tour openers, like Phoebe Bridgers or Haim, so they could do, if it's Phoebe, they could do Nothing New, although I think Nothing New is really slow and it might not be the best choice for a stadium show, but it would make sense if Phoebe's there, or if Haim is there, they could do Nobody No Crime. Depends who it is. I have, to end the set, I have a mashup, so the tour openers probably are going to stay on stage for this because it is a mashup of Shake It Off, You Need to Calm Down, and Karma. I think Shake It Off, again, we're definitely going to hear it. It was like one of her biggest hits. So because it was so popular, maybe she'll play the whole song, but I think we will also hear those other songs, so it would be cool to hear them mashed up. It would be fun. Her openers are dancing with her, the crowd is dancing. None of these songs are very long, so even if she did like a verse chorus or like a verse bridge from each of them, it would still be like under 5 minutes. And then I have Act 4, which I'm calling I Was There. So this would be the acoustic set. I think it would be awesome, or like I picture it, she's wearing some kind of like autumn themed gown with leaves, and this set starts with a couple acoustic guitar, starting with a mashup of Cardigan and August. I definitely think we're going to hear Cardigan. This would be, I kind of drew inspiration from the Grammys performance where she mashed these songs up. She could also do them each individually, like maybe August to open the set because it's a little more upbeat, and then Cardigan later when she's at the piano. So together or apart. Then I have a spot for a surprise song, and I know surprise songs come from all over her discography. In the past, she would do surprise songs from debut and Fearless era. I think this time she's going to focus the surprise songs on more recent stuff, like stuff from either Folklore Evermore or Cornelia Street or Death by a Thousand Cuts, maybe some like Red Vault tracks, something like that, because that's a way to get those songs in. A lot of them are fan favorites, but I just did not have time to put them on the set permanently. but to have them at least at some shows. And then I have Willow. Can't forget about Evermore. I think actually, because we don't want this set to be like too many slow songs in a row, I think if they kind of engineered the sound, like she would have her guitar, but I think if they engineered the sound kind of like the 90s Trend remix, I think that would actually kind of be a bop in the stadium. That would be fun. And then she will sit down at the piano at some point. And so I have at the piano first Champagne Problems. And I don't think this is 1000% guaranteed, but I think it's a pretty decent chance we'll hear it on the tour because she said in an interview that she wants to do this and have the fans, singing the bridge. Next, I have a piano mashup. I have here Enchanted and Daylight as a mashup. Now, there's different possibilities here. I wanted to include Enchanted in the set list in some way, shape, or form because it's such a huge fan favorite and as kind of like an Easter egg to Speak Now being the next re-recording. But I know that she already did a mashup with Enchanted and Wildest Dreams on the 1989 tour, so I wanted to do something different. As much as it would be fun to bring that back, I don't think she'll do the exact same thing. Daylight, a beautiful, beautiful song from Lover, but there's other things that she could do. She could do Enchanted plus Labyrinth. She could do Enchanted and then a slow song like You Are in Love, maybe, in the middle, and then Daylight, if she wants to have a little longer mashup. Or maybe not Enchanted. Maybe she'll do like Daylight and Sweet Nothing together. I think that would be a really nice mashup. So something like that. But I have it on my list. I have it as Enchanted / Daylight. And next we have Lover, the song. She has done a few like TV performances of this on the piano, and it was really beautiful. And to close out the set, I have the All Too Well 10-minute version. I know it's somewhat of a debate. I know that some people don't want that much of the time taken up by just one song. They would rather hear other songs. But I think it was such a huge, huge moment for her. It won a VMA, and there's people who are not going to be happy unless they leave hearing that song. They want to scream, fuck the patriarchy in the stadium. So she's going to do it. It may end up being more like 8.5 minutes, trimmed here and there. Or maybe like the backup singers can sing the outro part while Taylor goes backstage and changes her costume or something just to make use of that time. So it's not just like everybody standing there for a full, minute or more. Here's my final set. This is the Act 5 where the finale. To kick off our home stretch, I have Our Song. I think this would be so cool as part of a finale. Very high energy. People will love it. Then I have Long Live. I know that she did Long Live as part of a mashup in the Reputation tour, but I think for the ERAS tour, this is like the most ERAS song that there is. So I think she should do the whole song, or at least most of it, maybe minus one verse. But I really want to hear it. It will, and like with a full rock arrangement, it'll be awesome. As a finale, I have Bejeweled. I think we probably will have a finale song from Midnights. So either Bejeweled or Karma, I'm guessing, will be the finale. But I put Bejeweled here. It'll be super fun. Fireworks, everybody will leave, singing and dancing and leave on a high note. So that's it. 24 slots. No, 24 if she brings out like a surprise guest. If she doesn't, then 23. So I hope that you like this and you can let me know your thoughts, and we will find out for sure in a few days. I hope you have a great night. Thank you.